Welcome to your weekly airplane news update. This is the week of April 12th, 2022. We got 4 stories for you this week. The first one is China Eastern is resuming their 737 operations. We'll talk about pilots that can now track their medical application. It's kind of a big deal. We'll talk about Iris Automation and TruWeather going into a partnership to find, better weather at low altitude. And we'll talk about the FAA rescinding a proposed AD for the Cheetah and the Tiger aircraft. So let's get to it. And the first story this week is China Eastern is going to resume the 737 operation. As you know, we talked about it at the end of March. There was a crash of a 737. We still don't really know the cause for that crash. It's very unclear at this stage whether or not some of the information is being unreleased, is being held back. There were a lot of speculation at first, but the airline says that they checked all of their 737 for structural integrity. They did system checks, test flights, and it looked like everything is good to go. So when we know more, you'll know more. We'll let you know. But at the moment, this is all the information that we have. And the next thing this week is pilots can now track their medical certificate status, the application for their medical certificate. This is a new feature on what the application is called MedXPress. And the online portal means that you no longer have to call the Office of Aerospace Medicine in order to determine where your application is at. Now, with that being said, I don't want to get your hopes up. This is not a change to the application process or the certification process, which is still extremely cumbersome with the FAA, extremely lengthy, something that somebody needs to look into very soon because there's a lot of complaints. There's been a lot of complaints from pilots for years and years and years on this application process. We get a lot of complaints from our students on a regular basis, and this is definitely something that needs to change. But I guess this is a step in the right direction. Okay, next thing this week is Iris Automation and TruWeather Solutions are going into a partnership. The idea here is primarily for anyone who's operating at low altitude, including agricultural operation, balloon operators, and also unmanned aircraft systems. This system that they're designing will include weather station, airspace awareness, and other new sensors put in place. The idea is to pave the way for the unmanned aircraft management, beyond visual line of sight operation for unmanned aircraft, and also just general aviation safety. It is extremely difficult to find the weather at low altitude and to predict that weather because it's very different than all the information that we have available at much higher altitude. So I think this is a very welcome thing, and I hope we get to see some good data on that side. All right, the next thing is the FAA is going to rescind a proposed airworthiness directive that was introduced in December for the Grumman Cheetah and the Grumman Tiger. These aircraft had delamination of the stabilizer issues. The proposed AD was challenged by 41 people that commented, including the AOPA. The FAA has said that they're going to retract that proposed AD because they found out that the issues that had happened because there were accidents related to this. They found out that all the information is actually in the documents for the aircraft, and that at the time when there were accidents, the maintenance wasn't followed properly. The FAA has said that they were actually going to retract that AD because they found out that all the information was actually available in the aircraft manual in the maintenance section. So they figured out that what had happened was that the maintenance procedure was not followed, which led to the delamination of the stabilizer. So not a small issue per se, but it's interesting to see the FAA listening to the public and actually changing this proposed AD and not putting the AD actually in place. So we're pretty happy to see that. All right, that's all I have for you this week. As always, like, subscribe, leave your comments, and I'll see you next week.